I think you just have people that are being dicks to you. Nobody's ever made me feel smaller or shorter or stupider or childlike. I think I've just been lucky enough to be around people that go, hey, yeah, you're fun. I want to be around you. That's it. And I might have to abuse my son to get that point across. Welcome back to another episode of Bart from the Heart, where we ask a little bit of a deeper question to each careful boy. They have the whole episode to flesh out their answer. Today, Nick the Ear is going to be asking me something.
I'm going to ask him a real good one, you guys.
Good.
It's something that you guys all want to think about for Ryan. And my question to you is, if you could only pass on one lesson to your child or future children, what would it be and why? And were you taught that lesson, or did you learn it yourself, and how?
Please say breakdancing.
It's definitely not that.
B-boying.
No, imagine if that's all it was. Correct the term, and then I'm like, yes. No, I think like there's a funny trait that I think I think I have it still. Hopefully I do. And I think I picked it up. I feel like I picked it up watching Sesame Street, which is just like, I think it's like it's this childlike innocence that I try to preserve, which stops me from doing really bad stuff. Which sounds really dark, but like there's a part of me that like has helped me abstain from like making bad choices, and that like thing is just that little voice internally that's like a little kid.
Is that why you've been like, no drugs, no drinking?
Kind of. I mean, it definitely helps with that. Yeah, it definitely helps with like getting into things that I think would be bad for me. But whatever that is, I don't know how to. I've always thought about how to pass that trait on. Like, what do you do in order to preserve the natural childlike innocence of a kid as long as possible? You know,
like, how do you think that happened?
I think it's a mixture of how both of my mom and dad raised me, because my mom she instilled this really weird sense of like, this is gonna sound like I'm a nutcase, but like when I was a kid, I used to think inanimate objects had feelings. So like, let's say a toaster was breaking, and then my dad's like, we're throwing that shit out, getting a new one. I'd be like, no, like no.
Oh, you're the one with that.
Yeah, because my mom kind of put that in me by like, she was a hoarder, like with everything, and my dad was a throwawayer. So they would bump heads all the time because she would always be like, no, let's not get rid of that. Like, that's nice. Like, we like it. It's good. And my dad would be like, no, it's old. Like, let's get the newest technology. And so like, I would watch that dynamic, and I ended up with like half and half of that, where I would know, like, you know, I would Marie Kondo myself and be like, okay, I got to get rid of these things. But yes, I'd be like, thank you for, you know, like,
Goodbye, toaster.
But all throughout my childhood, I would look at the lamp, I would look at the plant, like I would look at these things like they were alive. Like they had like, kind of like Brave Little Toaster, which is like a old cartoon where like the shit really was alive. but I would imagine that they had like an emotion. So like I would try to treat things nicely. Like I would try to like treat objects with care as a child.
That's dope though.
Yeah, seriously.
And I would feel very sad if like I broke something.
Did you feel like you heard it?
Yeah, I would just feel like I don't know, there would be like a guilt that almost like I could see a face looking at me or something. It was weird. But that really stemmed from like how my mom would react to objects and items. And then as I grew up, I think I took that feeling and I just translated it to just to people, just to like I think it's really funny that like I'm portrayed as like the dark soul that wants to like, you know, like do all these nefarious things. I really like thinking about ways to do those things. I don't like actually hurting anyone. I truly I have such a disdain for hurting people that like, but which makes it way more fun to like, you know, build I guess like how you would do it. Yeah. But I really don't enjoy that feeling at all. Even if like there's like a road rage moment, and so like if I took an extra second to think about someone that slighted me, I just don't want to do anything to them. I would rather just leave.
It's very healthy.
Because like there's a part of me like in there that stayed from like treating things so like carefully that like the actual idea, the realistic idea of somebody being hurt is not like a fun thing for me. And I think like that's just tied to that childlike innocence part, which also helped me care about people more in relationships. I think like the way that I even the way that I treat Smack today, like it's we share that kind of inner child I guess like core where we're both always trying to make each other's inner child happy.
That's
so sweet.
really cool.
Yeah, I think that's a big foundation of our relationship. And throughout time, I've always had that in me, and it's hard to get right with different people because some people don't have that. So I might have had relationships in the past where like I carried that really strongly and they didn't. So then it, without them really doing anything wrong, the relationship wasn't satisfying.
Yeah, it's just a mismatch.
Yeah, so it's not like I can hold it against them. It's more like there's a part of me that's very important, and if that's not receiving some kind of resonance, then we're just not in tune. And I think with Smack, the reason why we worked out is because from day one, that was the core of both of us.
You both kept your childlike kind of wonder.
Yeah. There's definitely like something there that like I don't know how to pass that on other than like let my kid be a real kid as long as possible instead of trying to make them an adult right away. And I think like that's where my mom and dad were different, where my mom wanted me to be a kid and my dad wanted me to be a grown up. Yeah. Like my dad never talked to me like a kid. Like he was just talking to me like I was like a dude he knew.
What if the recipe was like Joe Jackson and like, because clearly Michael Jackson stayed a kid and preserved his fucking innocence, right?
That might be repression, if anything.
What if abuse is like the actual answer to make that happen?
I think there's different, obviously like when I really think about it, like both my parents' different parental styles fostered different growths. So like, my dad made it really easy to deal with shit going wrong because like he blamed me for everything. So like if I made a mistake, I just blamed myself and I moved on. Like I didn't wrestle with who did it or like why it was, why it could have been prevented. I'm just like, I'm the fucking idiot again, and then it made it easy to cope because I'm just like, fucking stop fucking up, like very easy. But then my mom made it really, she grew a lot of, I think, empathy and a lot of like consideration to remember things, which is like a funny thing that like I have this curse of just fucking remembering the most useless shit because my mom thought everything was like so important and so like worth thinking about, like, so if somebody tells me something about their life that they just as a throwaway fact, they'll probably never mention it again. I can remember 30 years later. But
that's one of the traits I associate with you the most. And I would imagine the reason why you're so good at like community building and people meeting and like you always remember something that I don't even remember about my life, or you'll have those moments with different people here and they're like, whoa, they're surprised you remember that shit. They're like, and
it's very thoughtful.
Yeah. They look at you differently because of how thoughtful you are.
I think it's a funny thing because I can't remember the important shit. Like I can't remember the things that really matter.
They'll come up again.
I have this like weird reflex when someone does or says something that they don't think is important. I add value in my mind to that.
That's your mom brain.
Yeah, my mom would do that. She would add value to everything that doesn't mean anything to anyone else. So I was like, why the fuck do I have that thing? And it's because of that reason that my mom, like every little thing that we had in the house, whether it was like a little porcelain angel doll or like, or even just like a stack of paper off the printer, like it had the same value to her. She'd be like, we could use it someday. Don't throw it away, like, and it just like was a weird thing that I think like that tied into my childlike nature and also helped me with different skills. Like with music, it helped me be more creative because I didn't have boundaries. I was just like, hey, whatever's cool and fun. Like I want to do that. And then my mom always like thought it was like eventually got to the point where they were both annoyed by me playing piano and they would tell me to stop all the time. But it was a nice, I guess, like I was able to play in everything I did, whether it was dance, music, writing, just anything. I was able to be playful because of whatever got instilled in me.
The ability to play, I think, or let a kid play is so important.
Yeah. I think if you and Smack are the same way, you're probably just going to create an environment that fosters that for a long time, and that'll just be a part of their personality.
Leading by example.
Yeah. That's what I hope to be able to pass on is just that, like, whatever it is where there's that spirit of a kid, like I don't want that to die too early. Or, I mean, if it could stay alive in some shape or form forever, massive win. But I think in terms of how me, like, because now I know who my kid's gonna be with. I think we're gonna have a kid with a lot of creativity, and I think that would be essential to just be like, play with it and not add rules or boundaries or limits in terms of how they feel about themselves, I guess. Because whatever happened on Sesame Street, when I would watch so much Sesame Street as a kid, because I'd be home alone all the time at like 3 and 4, because my parents would have to go take my sister to school. And I would always be alone watching so much TV, and whatever Sesame Street did to show like the kids, because there were so many kids on that damn show, and they were all being kids, and I felt like one of them, and it felt like I wanted to do things that were for kids in my nature. I didn't care about stuff that was for adults. I had no interest in like the adults are watching Air Force One or Clear and Present Danger. Like, I don't care. That's not for kids. Like, my whole childhood life, I just wanted to do shit for kids. Like, is that toy for kids? I'll play with that toy. Is that for kids? Like, and I think like I definitely, I'm glad I didn't get robbed of that, of like my parents turning me into a fucking adult too soon, Like, even by the time, I guess by the time I was a teenager, I still wanted to do shit that was, too young for me in a way, like I still liked watching anime and cartoons and shit, and everybody else is getting into, dramas and, more grown up stuff. And even at the time where I was hanging out with like, unsavory people or like people that were just like, way more mature than me, I still tried to keep that thing. Like, even while doing tour with LMFAO and shit, like I still tried to keep, like they fucking Red Food be ordering milk for me at the bar and shit, just to be funny. Cause like that's just kind of why
Chocolate milk in a sippy cup.
Yeah, like I thought like
The bartender gets pissed. He's like, I gotta get milk for this guy.
And some crayons, please.
yeah, it's a key thing that I'm glad I wasn't embarrassed about who I was in that way.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't ashamed that I was kind of more of a fucking child brain than like other people. Because I always looked at it like an asset because it helped me out,
Just don't put him in school, dude. His friends will fucking bully him into being a boring adult real quick.
Yeah, that's why like whatever it is that I had that gave me I don't know why I was so confident about it, but if I can get that confidence in my kid to be like, yeah, don't worry about it. If that's how you are, then just they won't like try to change you if you look happy. Like I never had that problem. I've never been peer pressured. I'm usually the one that's fucking pressuring other people to do stupid shit. But like I've never felt peer pressured because I'm just like happy with it. Like I don't feel like, I think there could have been a crossroad where I would have been like, damn, everybody's like so mature and manly. And I'm not, and I would think that. I would think that even in college. I'd be like, dude, look at that fucking guy. He's so cool and like manly and grown up. And like I'm over here making the dumbest like little jokes from like I'm a child and shit. But then I would stop and think about it and be like, but I'm having a lot of fun though. Like that's kind of tight.
Manly guys not having fun.
Yeah, because like it's tough when everyone's voice gets lower than yours, everyone gets taller than you, everybody gets broader shoulders than you, and like I feel like I was a late bloomer in a lot of ways, or didn't bloom at all. But like I don't think when people assume that like for instance, like I just never thought that I had a problem because of that. Like when people go like when some people have issues because they feel short. I don't think that it's because they're short. I think they're just hanging out with mean people. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't think it got anything to do with your features. I think you just have people that are being dicks to you. Like that's it. Like
it forms your reality a little bit.
Yeah. Nobody's ever made me feel smaller or shorter or stupider or childlike. I think I've just been lucky enough to be around people that go, "Hey, yeah, you're fun. I want to be around you." That's it. Yeah. So whatever I can do to. And I might have to abuse my son to get that point across.
Yeah, Joe Jackson stuff. Yep. Yeah.
Rob him of his childhood so he would yearn for a childhood his whole life.
Just a little bit. A little.
I would love for him to have a child, but I also have to make sure that I'm pretty adept to how the times are when that comes, that I'm not trying to make him the kid that I was in the fucking 80s. You know what I mean? Like I got to know what's the modern way that this fits into his realm, because or else he's gonna go out and then people are gonna be like, you're just fucking weird, like you're not even cool, you know. So that's the part that I have to struggle with, is like, how do I adapt that for modern times when by the time I have a son.
Energy. Hey, if you guys liked Ryan's answer, why don't you guys comment below and tell us what you think?